watcher? Have you ever been a bird watcher?
As I've gotten older, I've actually gotten more interested in bird watching. But you know what I do love watching? You know they have like the eagle cam or whatever the cams are, and you can watch the birds sit there, and they're like the snow's all over them, but they're protecting that egg. And then they bring back little pieces of things to make their nest. It just blows my mind.
They have like a whole, I know, this hot take here.
That you were bird obsessed. Wasn't there a red bird or something you were obsessed with?
It was a magpie.
My
bird watching experience. My grandma has a bunch of bird feeders up, so it really is something you hate to see it. You hate to see them struggling. Yeah. Kind of hate to hear those statistics. I hate to hear this statistic too, because personal indulgence, but you don't know what all you're getting when you drink out of a plastic bottle. You might also be drinking plastic.
Motivation. My sister-in-law randomly was like, "I find you very motivating today." I was like, "Oh, thanks." I wasn't expecting that. I was like, "Thanks, Mace."
That's a good compliment.
Yeah, it was so random, but maybe this will motivate you to get a reusable cup or bottle or whatever it is and take it everywhere you go. You know, my dad's best friend growing up, I remember him saying, "I don't understand the bottled water thing. Like, water is free. Like, you just literally go up to," and I think till this day, I'm going to actually text him later and be like, "Have you ever bought a bottle of anything?" Because he's like, "This is ridiculous."
Well, so I have a very picky water palate. I'm not.
So what you won't take, because I used to have one of those too, and you put it under the thing, but it tastes different. So how do you fill it up then?
With my pitcher.
And drink it?
No.
Oh.
But also, like, the thing about it, even when it comes out of an aluminum can.
I haven't had a soda in, a decade now or something.
Okay, well, you can keep trying to motivate me.
All right. A historic shipwreck has turned into a marine habitat, and now we can see it with unbelievable clarity. If you're not by your television screen and you're just listening, you've got to come.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Come around and look at this. What's left of the Titanic is disappearing before our eyes, making work like this all the more exciting, as climate pattern scientist Allie Van Fleet shows us. Yeah,
we were just talking about what we wish you could go down easier.
Wild if you could go in a submarine and go around. I know with the pressures and everything, it's not, and it's hard to get to. It's in the middle of the Atlantic.
But if you were in a tiny little personal submarine, you
could do it.
I had a serious Titanic obsession, and that might have just reignited it.
Well, then we need to get you down there. And
I know. Come on, Pattern. Send me on location to explore the Titanic. Okay, well, time for facts. Our facts are now than they've been any time since at least 1982. Now, the recent spike in surface temperatures has scientists around the world.
It's not only happening on the water. Avid surfers are actually worried, too. They might not be able to catch waves for much longer. Nick Strong-Savage Thank you.
Is the CEO.
Sorry, Nick.
Sorry, Nick. We knew we were going to get it at some point.
It could be worse. It could be worse.
No, that wasn't very good. I massively apologize for that. You are the CEO of Save the Waves Coalition. So why is surfing at risk?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a twofold.
That like a surf ecosystem was a thing, or that this could make such a big difference. So can you explain that to us a little bit more, and why keeping that ecosystem healthy is so important?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
With all that said, your goal is to protect 1,000 surf ecosystems by 2030. That sounds overwhelming to me, especially because there's so many moving parts. So how exactly do you do that?
It is auspicious and audacious.
Yeah.
Often when we get into the weeds of these stories, it feels kind of a little bit hopeless, like, oh, can we even fix it? So you tell us some of the successes that you've had, that you've already been seeing with the work you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, just in my backyard of Santa Cruz, California.
Is there really a possibility that we could ever see the end to surfing if we don't solve this problem?
I don't think we'll see the end of surfing. I think sort of like the bird watching segment, surfers.
So much sense. Well, Nick Strong-Savage, CEO of Save the Waves Coalition, thanks for talking to us today.
And I apologize again for butchering your name off the top. Savage.
I got it. We got it.
I've got it. So my deepest apologies for that.
I was like, I'm going to say it this time just in case, but we got it. We both got it.
I got it.
It's amazing how far-reaching the impacts that you never think.
Bathymetry, and that's basically how shallow or deep the ocean ocean floor is and how that can be impacted, and then obviously impacts your waves will be bigger or smaller depending if that changes. It's wild.
Yeah.
So to come here this hour on for us on the flood warning, Lynette.
Yeah, so we had that flood warning. It was until noon. Now it's until 3. I just want to show
News and climate change and sustainability. I'm Steph Abrams.
And I'm Felicia Combs in for Jordan Steele. Well, today is Endangered Species Day, and koalas, man, they're having a rough time. Despite being an iconic Australian species, their numbers continue to dwindle.
Yeah, in 20 years, koala populations have plummeted by 50%. That's why the WWF is working so hard to protect them. Now, the disease can make them so sick they can't climb trees, gather food, or escape predators.
Yeah, it's debilitating. It also makes, solving a problem with something else adding in, but at least they're working to solve it.
Yeah. All right, still ahead here on Pattern. We're just over.
First, we're going to talk about what is going on with the weather. It's already been an active morning in some places.
It has, and we have a cold front that's coming through, guys. We have, it's May, so we have graduations. It's Friday. We have a lot going on.
The Pattern, we are counting down to Memorial Day, which means boat owners are getting ready to hit the water. But if your boat has spent the cooler seasons wrapped in a plastic casing, we want to help you take care of that sustainably.
Yes, Mark Fisher is the president and CEO of the Council of the Great Lakes, joining us now. First, I think we should tell people that maybe aren't boat owners or don't live, near lakes or water. Like, what do you mean? Your boat's been wrapped in shrink wrap? They might be thinking like we're crazy. So first, let's explain why people do that.
Obviously noticed that there was a need for this, so you have the shrink wrap recovery program. How exactly does that work?
Another great question. So
wrap is actually used on a boat just so we can get some reference.
So
I think 30,000 pounds.
Yeah. But I guess it takes a lot, especially if it's a big boat. That's a lot of can add up really quickly. Okay, so we're focused and they want to responsibly get rid of their shrink wrap, but they're not in the Great Lakes region.
Yes.
Other sustainable options if you want to wrap your boat, or can you go the season without wrapping the boat so you're not even using the plastic? Are there any other options?
Well, it really depends. So in some...
I'm impressed that the weather causes this much damage. You have to do all this. I mean, they're out on the rough seas, banging. And
think about that. Think about how much of like a solvent, especially if you're in the elements, the water can be for...
I guess. All right, Mark Fisher, President and CEO at the Council of the Great Lakes region. Thank you so much for joining us today. I mean, I guess if you get a solid sheet of freezing rain, it could probably add a lot of weight and break, parts of boats.
That's why someone said, you never buy your own boat, you just make friends with people who have boats.
Yeah, the best day of a boaters who owns a boat is the day they sell it or something, what are all those saying?
Like
so they're a lot of work and expensive.
But they're so much fun.
I know, they are. Well, for more...
Coming up next on Pattern, the lifestyles of the rich and famous.
That was good.
Aren't always sustainable, though. We're sorry. Who are our first climate zeros and who are our crowning climate heroes? That's coming up after the break.
Back in a Pattern, the food we eat has a major impact on the planet, so we need to look for lower emission solutions.
Here's one. Bugs.
Which you eat apparently all the time.
I've had them sometimes. Reporter Tina Kraus with our partners at CBS shows us how they could be a game changer.
Okay, I couldn't dig into that with a fork, a little marinara and eat it.
Yeah.
But I think if they, they're not alive, I guess, a lot of times when we eat them. But just, it's the way they look. If they look different, I think I could do it.
The secret with eating bugs, as is many, I'm saying, that's the key to life. You got to learn how to trick your brain. Because imagine if you grind them up and they're up like a protein powder, and you make a cookie or something. You're like, man, that's a great oatmeal cookie. That's not a raisin.
All right, let's move on to our new segment here. For the first time ever, we are presenting you with Pattern's own heroes and zeros.
And that was the wrong sound, but you get the point. Okay, good. Each week we'll highlight the people who are putting in the work for our planet and the ones who need to step their games up.
Yeah. So up first, it's always faster and it's easier. So when we saw this story, I knew that you were in trouble.
Me?
Yeah.
No, am I now your anti-hero? I don't want there to be any bad blood, but look what you made me do.
Yeah, now don't blame me because karma's gonna get you.
Okay.
Is that you, Lynette, laughing over there?
Okay, well.
Do you have a climate hero, or you want to praise, or a zero you want to shame? Let us know on social media accounts. And you,
but I like her music. It always grows on me.
Did you go to the concert?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah.
It looks amazing, though.
I know it does look amazing. Speaking of amazing, weather, of course, that's why we all
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Here's what's coming up Monday on Pattern. Whether you want, up next with Woo TV. See you Monday, everybody.